Josh Adams.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another presentation of the iRacing Super Formula B Series here on VSPEED. Presented to you in part by Graham Crackers Racing, Sim Racing Nation, and Race Ready 3D. No matter if you're searching for a place to race or speed, you found it. Stop by Graham Crackers Racing Discord server where everybody's welcome. Looking for a team? You're in luck. Active recruiting for both Super Formula 23 and NASCAR teams. Join me in the link in the description below or the QR code on your screen. And check out Race Ready 3D as well. Their link in the description down below. We're here on VSPEED. Logan, your lead commentator as always. I'm Morgan Cook, color and producer. Cameras by Dougie Beard. Gonna have a shortened intro today as we are already on the grid. Let's get to it, Logan.
Yeah, we might as well. We can cover everything else that we need to when we get there. But taking the pole position on the event tonight, none other than Jansu Foster with JT Smeaton rounding out here in second place to start the race. Taking up P3 is Timothy Freeze Larson next to Nadia Mel for P4. In fifth is Dan Yang next to Brett Greaves for P6. In P7, Mohamed Rezgui in the 14 machine next to the 16 of Victor Odd in P8. In the top 10, it's Lucas Hand in the 6 machine next to Valerio Tavares in the 7 in P10.
11th will be Ludwig Ranson in the 12. Rob Mandemaker starts in 12th. 13th, Felipe Sarkis. Adam Asherzada starts in 14th. 15th will be Miguel Fachado. 16th, Alexander Shushki. Rounding out your field here in row number 9, Carlos Cabral and Ben Ford.
27 laps on the board. All of our drivers are ready to go. 13 corners ahead of us for 2-point, and we got a roller. We've got a black flag immediately. That's going to be on Nadia Mel, the number 9, early on the green. Immediately dropping to the back of the field, gets out of the way.
Oh, big carnage.
Down the road, and yeah, all over the place here in turn 2.
That was Larson who ended up getting sideways there.
Needs to be some contact from JT Smeaton getting into the one of Timothy Freeze Larson. Already back on attack around Ludwig Ranson into the 8th position. Up at the front, Jansu Foster, Dan Yang, JT Smeaton, Brett Greaves, Victor Odd make up your top 5. We're finally single filed out through the field. Took a little bit longer than I would have anticipated there. Here we go down into the right-hand hairpin. Side by side through the inside goes Lucas Hand for the top 5.
Drivers finally now single filing out here. You probably noticed those with the keen eye that we are in Montreal here on the island in the middle of the St. Lawrence River. So we zip by the Wall of Champions to complete the lap. A few drivers catch that wall just a little bit. Gilles Foster leads lap number 1. Oh, big carnage back there. We got wrecks happening at the Wall of Champions. We go
Facciato involved. Alexander Shusky skates by. Big time damage on Miguel Facciato, the 18 machine. Take it back here on the VSPEED instant replay. Have a look at what happened to Facciato. As we just mentioned, that Wall of Champions, a couple drivers can get into it. A little bit too hard on the contact. Oh, loose and more contact. Parts go flying.
Got the sausage curb.
Into the wall hard. Taking out the 18 early here. Back around for the second lap. Jansu Foster still controls the lead. 2 seconds out ahead of Dan Yang. JT Smeaton holding on to put on a battle for P2. Looking to the inside through turn 10. Can't quite get the run off that Dan Yang gets. Yang using the OTS to get by. Smart move to keep that 8 out ahead of the 2. JT Smeaton, a hard driver to get around. Look to the outside, setting up for turn 10, I believe. 12, rather.
See a lot of speed out of JT Smeaton all season long here. I would not expect that to end today. Battling for second right off the rip.
More going on here in the back. Not quite in the back, more in the midfield. Ludwig Granson, Valerio Tavares for that 8th and 9th position. Looks like it's settling itself out for the time being. Timothy Fries-Larson trying to put some pressure on Victor Odd and work his way back up the board. About 0.2 of a second away from Odd in the 16, running P6. Hop on board with Timothy Fries-Larson. Have a look from behind the 16, the 10, and the 6 just up the road. More contact with the wall.
If that wall sneaks out and gets you, I've seen a lot of drivers scrape it ever so slightly to start this one, but any contact harder than that will be detrimental to this open wheel machines.
Turn 10, a hard right-hand hairpin corner. Very hard on the brakes on the entry. You got to be smooth on the throttle and exit. It can get very slick on that corner exit.
Spin for the 14.
See right there, the 14, Mohamed Rizgui. Perfect example of exactly what I was talking about. Coming out of turn 10. A little bit hard on the throttle. Sent the back end around. On its way back to the 15th position.
Caught the curb. Lucas Hand, same issue here. Or similar issue. We'll see what happens to the 6. Currently with the meatball flag. He got the Wall Champions real good. Oh, a couple drivers did. That's Brett Grieve. Oh, maybe Brett Greaves got it as well. Maybe Netcode take it away as well.
Driver of the 15, Ben Ford, currently has a black flag on the field. I'm not too certain why. Looks like potentially speeding in the pits on pit exit just a lap ago. Pit speed limiter should essentially eliminate that issue. Have to keep looking into that a little bit. 27 laps on the board. Of course, wet tires always optional, but no weather in the forecast today. Local yellows only. And
oh, big crash!
Oh my goodness!
Victor Odd,
Ludwig Granson. What happened here?
That's 4 drivers with meatballs already. We haven't even had top 5 yet. Oh, man. Good on the next three avoiding that.
Innocent bystander of Ludwig Ranson there.
Do that one more time. We're right on board. Odd just missed the entry to the corner, slid over the curb into the outside wall, and then, of course, back into traffic.
Hate to see that for Ranson. Just nowhere to go. Very good entry and exit into the corner, out of the corner for the 12 machine, but unfortunately had a number 16 right in his way. Well, here's the pack in the midfield, led by Rob Mandemaker in the top 5 position. Brett Greaves in the 10 right on his tail. Valerio Tavares right there as well, running in P7. Those 3 drivers separated by about 0.6 of a second. That battle for the top 5 strong right now.
Always is in this series, isn't it? We always see a really solid battle. 5, 6, 7, 8, that kind of area. They're always within a few car lengths of each other. It never fails in this series.
And it's always, it kind of bounces through the field. There'll be a battle at the front, then it'll migrate to the middle, then it'll migrate back to the front, then there might be a battle in the back of the pack. You never know where you're going to find it here. So the beauty of the iRating system here, allowing us to collect these very talented drivers all in one place and put on just quite the show week after week. On board with the 7 of Tavares, running in P7 just behind Brett Greaves. Rob Mandemaker just up ahead of both of these drivers. A little bit more breathing room now for Mandemaker. 1.2 seconds back to Brett Greaves. Doesn't look like much of a gap from the blimp camera by any means. But here comes Tavares looking to make a move to the inside here for turns 13 and 14. Down the front stretch we go. And what a great maneuver by Valerio Tavares. Makes it stick and up to P6.
Battle for second as well. Smeaton has not let Zhang get away. Got to within 0.2 just a moment ago.
On that 0.2 of the second area as well.
And here comes Timothy Free Larson as well.
Will get very interesting once that one gets a little bit closer to this picture. But here goes JT Smeaton, 0.1 of a second now. No move to the inside into turn 10. I'm surprised by that. A smart call by Smeaton this early in the race. Had that been lap 25, I'm sure he would certainly take a peek to the inside. Holds on to the back wing. Now he's going to take a look to the inside, coming down the back stretch, rather back to the front stretch. Turn 13 and 14, the last chicane until the start finish. JT Smeaton makes it stick. We just saw that move from Valerio Tavares. And repeated here.
Oh, another crash.
Oh my goodness, that's Brett.
That's Tavares.
Valerio. That's Tavares. No.
Saw that one from the curb cam. Very similar incident to his Racing Brazil teammate, Victor Odd. Defensive line down into the chicane. And just a rear lockup over the curb and nose first into that outside wall, and that's a day ender.
So many drivers out of this race so early. We started with 18. Currently with just 12 on the track. Ben Ford made it back out on the track. Currently being scored 1 lap down. We're left with 11 drivers remaining on the lead lap. Janssen Foster still leading the way. JT Smeaton made his move up to P2. Nearly contact there into the horseshoe. Smeaton in P2, Dan Yang still in P3. Timothy Freeze Larson working his way up the board, just a half second behind Yang for P3. Mandemaker, Cabral, and Greaves now switching positions coming down into turn 13. Another great move. That's a very high chance corner that you're going to succeed in a pass, Morgan.
Well, that's also where we've seen the most incidents today. Is if you overshoot it just a little bit and catch that curve on the inside, that's gonna end your day. So if you're gonna make a move, you better be confident in it, because if you miss, it's not good for either driver.
Certainly take out 2 race cars in one go. We've thinned the herd though, and now it's starting to get to that single file action. See this for a good portion of the race. These drivers still saving a lot of that push to pass available. 200 seconds still remain for Jansu Foster. No driver very much under the 150-second mark.
Well, we have a moment here, Logan. Let's have a look at the points. We didn't get a chance to touch on those at the start, as Larson actually just got around Dan Jang. Let's have a look at that really quick. See the one now in front of that red number 8. Moves Larson up to P3. Here's a look at the broadcasted top split points. So these are all the VSPEED shows we've had over the last 9. Foster, Smeaton, Larson lead the way. Then a large gap back to Alerson we haven't seen in a few weeks. Really, it's a 3-horse battle for this championship.
Quite a few drivers on that list that we haven't seen in a few weeks. Marcos Alerson, Luz Cachan, Rohan Soner, Bradley Leonards. There's a lot of contenders out there. Felipe Sarkis obviously in the field today, running P10 right now, up 3 positions from where he started. Looking to make up some more ground. 2.1 seconds behind Alexander Shusky for the 9th position. It's not far behind. Some strategy could come to play if he wants to come down, take some fresh tires, maybe pick up on a couple tenths here and there. These drivers right now, Jansu Foster currently setting his fastest lap of the race last time by of 117.549. The only driver into the 117 so far this race.
He's only got a cool 7.5 second lead over the next car after 11 laps. I mean, Jansu Foster clearly in another league of his own here today. Car's always on rails every week.
Be very interesting to see if that start goes any differently for Timothy Freeze Larson. If this battle up here at the front could have lived on to this point. We know it's coming. We've been waiting for it week after week. Just seems to always have something happen to one of these 2 drivers. We take a look on board. We'll take a rip around Montreal here with Jansu Foster as we start our way into turn 10. Down to first gear, about 35 miles an hour, tight right-hander. All the way back up to 6th gear. So we work our way down to turn 13. Of course, that last chicane before the start-finish line. And even catching that curbing there a little bit. Yeah, I was about to mention that. Catching the curbing a little bit, causing some understeer. But not enough to put him into the wall, thankfully, as we've seen time and time again already. Just have to love the sound of these cars, the gear changes, the downshifting especially. Just about right back to where we began in this lap. The onboard look with Jansu Foster completed here at Montreal. That is how you put down a very fast lap time.
Here's a great battle. This one for 8th.
$17, the 4, the 13, the 10 just up the road as well. Not a lot of breathing room here in the mid-pack. We're battle up towards the top 5 starting to settle itself out. Timothy Freeze Larson's currently sitting 0.6 of a second behind JT Smeaton for P2. The drivers behind that with a couple seconds in between themselves. We've got 3 under a blanket right here, side by side. As Alexander Chusky shoots by to the inside of the 17.
Great move.
We've seen it work, we've seen it claim race cars, but that one made it stick. Now it's just the attempt to start catching up to that 10 of Brett Greaves just up the road for Chusky. Greaves able to benefit from that side-by-side battle. Puts a little bit of distance between himself and Chusky, but not quite enough to really give yourself any sort of sense of relief. 1 second separating these 2 drivers. Rizgui's starting to make a move up towards the 13 machine of Felipe Sarkis for the top 10 spot. Down about a 0.3 of a second difference. A little bit later on the brace into turn 10. Gets a decent run out of the corner. He's going to stay right in that draft bubble, now closing up. Will he make a look to the inside? He does. The move to the inside, side by side. Who's going to break the latest? Oh, the 14 back up in front. Able to maximize the corner and really able to stick it through the flat chicane. Immediately puts a couple car lengths on Felipe Sarkis.
I think that straightaway is just long enough to have a good chance of using that slipstream to make a move at the last second while still being able to clear for the corner and not be side by side. Or if you really need to make a lunge, you can try, although we've seen that go poorly for a number of drivers here today, but just a really like almost perfectly length straightaway for that part of the racetrack.
Seems to be very well set up. A lot of passing zones available here at Montreal. Right at the halfway point of the Super Formula B series here. A lot of curb caught on that one. My goodness. JT Smeaton really trying to put down some fast lap times and putting that race car at risk, defending against Timothy Freeze Larson. Larson all over that tail. Really applying the pressure on that number 2 car. Right back to where they all started. But I don't think this is how it's going to finish.
You mentioned earlier, what if Timothy Freeze Larson does not have that slide to start the race in turn number 2? We could be looking at a very different picture right now with those top 2, Janssen Foster and Larson, battling one-on-one for the win of this one potentially. Instead, we have to see Larson chase up through the field. It was all the way back to 8th at one point, but now currently in 3rd, looking at 2nd.
You have to wonder too, navigating the traffic to get back up to this battle for the podium spots. Just how much of the tire did Larson have to use up? Is there much left to really attack on JT Smeaton? I don't know. I think it's a little bit too late to try to catch up to Janssen Foster for that race win. Right on the tail, down the front stretch. And a great move to the inside into turn 1. Makes it stick a little wide through turn 2, but he's going to get a good run off of it. Timothy Freeze Larson back up to P2.
Considering Foster just about lapped in the 1:16 second bracket last time by, it's going to be difficult for anyone to catch up to the 3. Larson clear for 2nd. He's 10.5 back. I don't think that number is going to come down all that much. But I've been wrong before. We got a driver on pit road here. 17.
Astrazada.
Oh, just a pit stop. It's like,
Nothing wrong with that.
are we missing the nose on this car maybe? Can't quite tell. No, it's still there. Yeah, just a bit. Oh, a little bit of damage there to the left side of that nose.
Caused quite a bit of understeer for AstraZeta. Can't say I'd blame him for getting that one fixed up and back out on the track, holding down the 11th position. Ben Ford, Nadia Mel, both being scored laps down behind, so the 17 should be safe for that 11th spot. With some fresh tires, might be able to put down some faster laps and maybe start challenging back up into the top 10. We do have 10 laps to go. Only 23 seconds behind Felipe Sarkis. There is a possibility of seeing the 17 start working back up into the field.
Yeah, he's got about 24 seconds to the next car, Sarkis.
T. Smeaton still holding on, though, up here at the front. Timothy Freeze Larson might have gotten by, but Smeaton isn't going to let it go away. Lap traffic staying out of the way. Very courteous move.
It's Ben Ford.
These two continue to battle it out. Larson, Smeaton. This could go on until the end of the race here. Smeaton doing a great job of holding on to about an average of 0.2 of a second. He's going to take a look here, setting up for the outside of one. Has to back off of it, comes out
Crossover.
wide. Can't get it there. But a great attempt nonetheless. Now it's just coming back around the track and figuring out what changes you need to make it work. Plenty of time to figure it out here. Moments ago, Alexander Shusky, Brett Greaves traded places, 7th and 8th. Shusky up to 7th. Brett Greaves staying very close behind, 0.3 of a second. It's about the same exact gap at the same time as the Larson-Smeaton battle. Just a few stops behind. That pretty well spread out through the rest of the field. Jansu Foster now up to a 12.5 second lead over the Larson-Smeaton battle. Certainly not helping themselves in that category by any means. This is purely a race for P2 from this point forward. The mistakes can still be made at any given moment, Morgan. We've seen it time and time again.
I mean, how many times you've seen somebody battling, oh, another wall contact there, battling for second, battling for any position, chasing down or within touch of the driver in front of them, make a step, make a misstep, and all of a sudden you're having issues. Just you saw Brett Greaves, in fact, have that same issue. Wall of Champions claims a, I believe, 5th car tonight.
Just after battling with Alexander Shusky. See Shusky just up ahead.
Oh, we caught that curve in a bad way.
Man, just completely threw that left rear up in the air. No chance of saving that one at all. The rear end completely destroyed.
The suspension on these Super Formula cars is excellent, but it can't quite handle a 4-inch curb. That kind of speed or that kind of braking load. Throw that car into a tailspin every time. We've seen it a number of times already today. One more headed to the junkyard after this.
Timothy Freeze Larson, JT Smeaton, the closest battle on the track. We'll keep our eyes right here as we work our way into the oh, wow, we're already within 10 laps to go here. Well into 10 laps to go, in fact. Timothy Freeze Larson, JT Smeaton. We're going to find out who's going to get this second place finish. It's looking fierce right now. Smeaton 0.15 seconds behind. Looking to the inside, backs out of it for turn 10. See if he goes for any sort of move out of the corner. No, and stays off of the push to pass, saving that for what could be just the last-ditch effort on lap 27. I think staying close at this point he'd be happy with, but he's going to take a look to the inside. Side by side into 13. Got him. Corner exit. Stays off the wall. JT Smeaton makes it work. Larson not going away easily. Stayed right up on that left rear up until the braking zone for turn 1. Looking for the crossover on the exit of turn 2. He's going to get by on the inside. Great back and forth battle here between Larson and Smeaton. Don't look now. Dan Yang starting to enter the picture here. 1.5 seconds behind this battle. It could be a 3-car battle for this second place spot.
Yeah, they keep fighting like that. It's only going to be a matter of time before the 8th of Dan Yang finds himself in that battle. More wall contact.
Might be able to waltz right into a podium position. These drivers really going at it, putting everything on the line. Left side tires go over the rumble strip into the grass for Timothy Freeze Larson. We'll see if Smeaton tries anything here again. Larson blocks any sort of attempt this time. Dan Yang nearly into the wall out of corner exit.
Definitely flirted with it there. That was close. A few sparks. I think that was just a server miscommunication. We didn't see it hit him on his screen here, but yeah, that was very close to ending the day.
Flirting with disaster. Side by side, nearly through 3 and 4. They're getting closer every time we get around to this section of the track. It'll be just at any given point an attempt to pass, really, between these two. Again, multiple passing opportunities available here at Montreal. Down into turn 8 and 9. One of them coming up here, the entry of turn 10, the horseshoe. Let's see if JT Smeaton will take a look to the inside. Not this time by, stays in line with Freeze Larson. Yang still at that 1.6 second mark now behind this battle. So Yang looking like he needs these drivers to really be side by side for the next 5 laps. And maybe make a 2-for-1 pass. These two drivers just have a ton of speed right now. Yang last time by with a 118.203. Smeaton with a 117.907. Jansu Foster deep into the 17 still, 117.265.
Get your race leader.
18.5 seconds ahead of that battle for second place. Started on the pole, never looked back. We see it time and time again.
5 to go.
Eaton still trying to make something happen here. Much closer into the middle of turn 10. Dan Yang slightly falling back as these two battle less and less just ahead of him. Rob Mandemaker with an outstanding race today. A top 5 finish would be fantastic. 6 seconds ahead of Carlos Cadwell. Alexander Shusky, of course, holding down the 7th position. Mohamed Rezgui in P8. Felipe Sarkis in the 13 machine, holding down P9. Adam Astrazeda in the 17, making up a top 10 spot today. Benay Ford in the 15, 2 laps down. Unfortunate night for Ford. But with all the drivers that ended up collecting into the wall, still coming away with a top 11 finish. Brett Greaves, Nadia Mel, Valerio Tavares, Victor Odd, Ludwig Branson, Lucas Hand, Miguel Fachado, all early retirements on the event. JT Smeaton looking to put the pressure on. What can he do here? Squeeze to the outside for the turn 10 entry. Larson with great defense in the late race. 4 to go, 3 to go this time by. It's getting interesting for P2.
And not quite enough rear grip to make that move that the rotation Smeaton was looking for to get the run down the straightaway. He's still right there as they head off into turn 1.
Shallow right-hander at the end of the front stretch. Turn 1, the first left hand, then another kind of horseshoe corner there for turn 2. Also, the pit exit there on the outside extends some room for that drive off of the corner. So you have to be careful with it. It can get very slick. Section 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. A fast-paced rhythm section. Right, left, right-hand bend back to another left-right. Down short stretch to turn 8 and 9, which came before our horseshoe turn 10 here that we're entering now. And Larson defending with the inside entry, giving no room to Smeaton on the outside whatsoever. I tell you what, I am very impressed with Smeaton's ability to stay right here with Larson, putting a battle on all the way to the end. Jiansu Foster has passed the start-finish line. 2 to go here in Montreal.
I don't know how surprised I am at Smeaton's speed here, to be honest with you, Logan, just because looking at the points, I mean, we're talking about the top 3 in points. There's 3 of the top drivers in points, all running 1, 2, 3. In fact, they're in almost reverse order here, but Smeaton has been one of the best drivers in this entire series across iRacing all year long.
Oh, by no means am I disagreeing with the speed that Smeaton puts down. It's the long run pace where we've seen Timothy Freeze Larson just able to set himself aside from the rest of the field. Smeaton figuring it out here in Montreal and just putting on a fantastic battle for the back half of this race. It has not been separated by more than 0.6 of a second since we hit the halfway point between Larson and Smeaton.
2 to go. Rescue gets around Shushki.
14 moves up into 7th. Impressive night for Carlos Cabral, the 11 machine, up 11 positions from where he started into nearly a top 5 spot, holding down P6. But white flag is out. Jansu Foster looking to put another win on the board. Timothy Freeze Larson, JT Smeaton still trying to duke it out, finding out who will take home that second place step on the night. It is still undecided. 0.2 of a second separating those two drivers. 20 seconds ahead of that battle is our number 3, Jansu Foster. Down into turn 10. One final stretch. One chicane left. And it's the 3 taking home another victory. Jansu Foster down into turn 13. Just keep it off of the wall on corner exit, and it is all clear. Checkered flag in the air. Your race winner, Kevin Jansu Foster, 27 laps led. Take it back and look at this battle between Timothy Freeze Larson, nearly side by side as Smeaton looked to the outside, pushed off into the grass there. Great defense by Larson. Smeaton might be upset by that, but it settles itself out. Larson with P2, Smeaton with P3. Dan Yang couldn't quite get back up to the battle, but a solid night. Rounding out in P4, Rob Mandamaker with a top 5 here as he makes his way out of turn 14. Carlos Cabral Mohamed Rezgui and Alexander Shusky still battling it out. Shusky sends it deep down the back stretch. He's going to get clear of the 14. Back up to P7 goes the 4. Rezgui rounding out in P8. Felipe Sarkis, our last driver on the lead lap in P9. Johnson Foster coming out of turn 10, working his way back up to the grandstands. Ready to get his celebration on here. Let's do a little stat check. Johnson Foster coming into it with 3, make it 4 wins now on the season for Foster. We saw it live, but let's go ahead and run through our results. Of course, that 3 machine you see working down pit lane, taking home win number 4 of the broadcasted races. Kevin Jansu Foster, congratulations. We will talk to you in just a second. Fast lap, 116.323. Timothy Freeze Larson coming home with the P2 after a great battle with JT Smeaton. Last second defense holds on to P2. Smeaton coming home in P3. Dan Yang, solid night for him. Couldn't quite get back to the battle. Holds on to the top 4 with Rob Mandemaker in top 5 with the 5 machine. Carlos Cabral up 11 spots into P6 from 17th on the night. Great showing for the 11 team. Alexander Shusky, last second ditch effort to get around Rezgui for P7. Rezgui in the 14 in P8. Felipe Sarkis, our last driver on the lead lap in the 13 machine, taking home P9. And last but not least, in P10, Adam Asperzeda.
Finishing 11th tonight, Ben Ford with a survivor sort of effort. Massive damage to the side pods. Ends up last driver running in this one, 2 laps down. Brett Greaves caught the wall of champions. He will finish in 12th. Nadia Mel in the 13th position. Tavares got that wall as well. So did Ranson. 14 and 15 for those 2 drivers. Victor Odd, Lucas Hand, and Miguel Fachado round out your field 16, 17, and 18 respectively.
Well, Morgan, we've got a couple of our drivers already up here, a race winner yet to join the server. So what do you say we start with our P2 finisher? And that is going to be, oh, there we go. Never mind. We'll switch that up. Jansu Foster now in the server. We will get him right up here into the broadcast booth. Kevin Jansu Foster, you've got Morgan and Logan up here in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy. How are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic, and yet another outstanding showing for you. Race win number 4 on the season. Again, a dominating effort with 27 of 27 laps led, and I believe the fastest lap time I've seen of all the official series so far, at least in today's sessions, a 116.323. Now, what was the mindset coming into this race? It seems like the prep was there. You really put down a solid effort today.
Yeah, there was definitely a little bit more preparation put in than last week at Hockenheim, especially given that the winds are really variable here. For some reason, must be because the track's by the river, but we get crazy headwinds, tailwinds, crosswinds, up to about gusting 40 kilometers an hour. So it's quite, when these cars are so aero sensitive, the wind makes such a huge difference. I mean, you're going from a headwind of 30 to tailwind of 30 is like 60 kph of wind going over the car that's either gained or lost. So it's, yeah, you had to find sessions where you could practice with all sorts of different conditions. And yeah, I just, it's a difficult track, really easy to wall yourself. There's so many instances where you can get an off track, touch a wall here, touch a curb wrong here. I think there were 1 or 2 laps where I almost did that myself, but it was just managing, pushing, but also not overdoing it.
Morgan, did you have anything for our race winner?
Yeah, so the start of the race obviously is a dice roll every week. We've seen great starts and we've seen poor starts from every driver in the field here. When you're the leader and you're able to clear turn 2 or turn 3 with the lead, the whole shot, if you will, and you look back and one of your biggest competitors is sideways through that section, does that ease the pressure or does that add pressure knowing that as long as you don't make a mistake, things are probably going to go your way the rest of the race.
Yeah, I guess at circuits like this, street circuits, where it's hard to overtake, pole is half the job. And I had a pretty shaky quali, so I wasn't too confident that I was going to get the pole, but it just managed to edge out JT there. So in my mind, that was already half the battle won. The run to T1 here is so short, and there isn't a real great overtaking zone until the back straight. So as long as you get a good start, keep your nose clean, you don't even need to really push through the first few corners if you've got track position. I didn't actually see what happened in the rearview mirror. I was just focused on hitting my marks. So coming out of the chicanes there, I checked the delta and saw that there wasn't Tim or JT. So I was a bit of a surprise, and yeah, it alleviates some of the pressure and just lets me focus on driving.
And driving, you did again a great effort on display once again. Kevin Foster, who do you have to say thanks to for your race win here in Montreal on the Isle?
As always, gotta thank friends and family, my dad, mom, girlfriend, sister. They're always watching, always supporting me. Even if it is just a sim racing event, I like how we can take it very professionally and hopefully lead to somewhere greater. I got to thank Tomas for the setup as always. Check out his setups at Tomas Setup, Patreon Tomas Setup, I believe. And yeah, everybody at SRN, Daniel, Alan, they've always been a great push in helping me in the sim racing space.
Well, again, congratulations, Kevin Foster. Race win number 4. Get to celebrate, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good weekend.
That'll move us right along to our second place finisher, and a battle to the end it was for Timothy Freeze Larson. Timothy Larson, you've got Logan and Morgan up here in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy.
Yeah, you guys are loud and clear.
Well, you had quite the eventful race today. Obviously, an early setback sending you back to the back half of the top 10, but able to work your way back up here in a stout battle with JT Smeaton all the way to the finishes. Once you got up to the top 3 and up underneath the rear wing of Smeaton, you two never really separated more than about 6/10 of a second. Tell me about how you managed to overcome the difficult number 2 machine.
Um, well, first of all, it's pretty difficult to actually pass around here when you got seemingly no pace advantage. And also, I don't really know why. I'm gonna have to investigate something, but once I got past him, my pace just dropped so much, and so I couldn't pull away, and we were just stuck fighting each other. But otherwise, the race was, yeah, as you said, eventful with that slightly chaotic start. There's nothing I can do about it really, but that's racing and it happens. And for once, I actually managed to climb up and make some moves. So that was fun. And yeah, I guess I still have some things to learn.
So you mentioned the chaotic start. Obviously, we saw you sideways down there in that turn 1, 2, 3 complex, and you fell back. I think just inside the top 10, and you slowly but surely worked your way back up through the field. Is it difficult for you to be able to mentally reset and say, okay, we're not going to fire off at a turn 3 in at the top 3? We're going to have where we started. We're going to have to fight back a little harder now. Is it difficult for you to do, or is that something you find naturally?
Um, I mean, I don't consciously think like, okay, calm down. It's time to, lock in and climb up again. But I just do my best to avoid any more incidents and, make some moves. And I think in this race I wasn't aggressive enough because I just wasted so much time behind a couple different cars. So yeah, I mean I don't have too much experience with fighting my way up the field, but yeah, always something to learn, and it's fun making moves for position.
You certainly made for a fun watch tonight, working your way back up through the field. The passing ability for you, Timothy Larson, is it's very fun to watch. So as much as it hurts to say you went back there, it was still a great showing. So after all that, I will have to ask, who do you have to say thanks to or shout out for your second place finish here at Montreal?
It's gonna have to be the same people as always. So, my family and my dad especially for always watching. All my friends who might be watching. My team for providing setups and supporting me. We did the Suzuka 1000 special event earlier today, and we somehow managed to finish in the top half of top split. So that was fun. And well, thanks to you guys and Sim Racing Nation. And thanks to those guys in the race here for driving pretty cleanly.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again. We will see you next week where we take the Super Formulas to Suzuka. So already getting your practice in. I know it's the GT3, but at least you know the track layout pretty nicely. We'll see you next week, Timothy.
Yeah, see you then.
And just one more to go, Morgan. That is none other than JT Smeaton, our P2 in the points, coming into this race, finishing out in P3, proving that consistency is key in these point standings. JT Smeaton, you got Logan and Morgan in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, a fantastic race for you tonight. Obviously, not the outcome you were hoping for, but a little bit of controversy there to start the race. Able to hold on to it, I think, with just a little bit of damage there on the number 2 machine, coming away with P3 and not easily by any means. Tell me a little bit about your side of the battle there at the very end with Timothy Larson.
Oh yeah, I mean, first off, that lap one was just pretty poor for me. Just big misjudgment on cold tires, and the grass just has no grip, so I couldn't slow down time and hit Timothy. Luckily, I didn't get any damage from that, so I was still able to continue. And glad, especially that Timothy didn't get any damage from that either. But yeah, it was a really enjoyable battle with him. It's with him being one of the fastest drivers, just an honor to race against him. And really happy with the battle we had. But yeah, he had some pretty good defense in the last 3 laps to defend against me, especially into that chicane after the long straight.
Yeah, so you mentioned defense, and he definitely played defense there, as you mentioned, down into 10 and into that Wall of Champions chicane. What could you have done differently in retrospect? Is there anything you can do against good defense when it comes to being the trailing car? Are there any tactics or tricks you can employ to try and almost trick that front driver to making a pass?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, especially when you're in dirty air. Around this track, it's you're able to sort of cut through the dirty air. So on the hairpin before the straight, it is possible to take a wider line to get a better sort of slingshot and exit going onto the straight, which gives you a better run down into the chicane. But yeah, it's just tough because that chicane, it's narrow, the curves are dangerous. So yeah, I wasn't willing to risk too much. But yeah, there's definitely a few things I could have done differently, especially on the exit of that hairpin.
Well, JT Smeaton, another fantastic showing for you, keeping yourself way up there in the points. It's coming down to the wire late in the season. So keep up the good efforts here. We'll see how that all finishes out. But who do you have to say thanks to or shout out for your P3 finish here tonight?
Yeah, first up, big shout out to Kevin and Timothy for a great season so far. I haven't been the fastest for sure, but yeah, just to have the opportunity to race against them this season it's been so much fun, and I've really learned a lot from looking at their laps, battling with them. So really enjoyed that. So that's big shout out to them. Big shout out to my family as well, if they're watching. Always appreciate their support. And yep,
Awesome. Well, congratulations once again, and we'll see you next week at Suzuka.
see you next week. Take care, guys.
That wraps it up here for our interviews. Morgan, any final thoughts on your side of the race? I know you were pretty well looking forward to this one, being a Canada native.
Yeah, always love a good race here in Montreal. This racetrack is just one of my favorites in terms of road races, and put on a great show tonight. We saw a lot of fantastic battles throughout the field, saw some attrition with that Wall of Champions, getting a good workout there out of the final corner, and just some excellent racing all the way throughout. That's kind of what we expect here on the man-made island in the St. Lawrence.
Yeah, it was a fantastic showing, just great battles all throughout the field. Like we said at the top of the show, it works its way from the front of the field to the middle to the back up towards the front. It's just action all over the place. And Couldn't ask for a better hour spent here mid-afternoon on a Saturday.
Absolutely, and this Super Formula B Series here in the iRacing Officials, this top split show, is always put on fantastic racing, and today was no different. If you like what you've seen, you gotta thank the donors who've made this thing possible, in part Graham Crackers Racing. No matter if you're searching for speed or a place to race, you've found it. Stop by Graham Crackers Racing Discord server where everybody's welcome. Looking for a team? You're in luck. Actively recruiting for both Super Formula 23 and NASCAR teams. Join by using the link in the description or the QR code on your screen. Don't forget, check out Race Ready 3D's link in the description below as well. Big shout to simracingnation.com for creating the partnership between iRacing and VSPEED and just really helping bring this Super Formula 23 event to life. It's been a lot of fun these last few months. And if you like what you see and you want to continue to have these shows broadcasted on VSPEED and bring this top split action, some of the best drivers on iRacing, to you at home, make sure to check out the donation link in the description down below. That's how these races are funded. We would love to continue to bring this coverage to you. For everyone at VSPEED who makes this thing possible, Bradley, Adam, Eddie, and everybody else, and the other commentators and broadcasters and producers, and everyone who makes this thing possible, is, of course, for Logan, the lead commentator here tonight. I've been Morgan Cook, camera provided by Dougie Beard. Check us out at vspeedsim.com, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, we'll see you right here on VSPEED. Good night, everyone.